The United States entered Afghanistan after the 9/11 attacks with the initial aim of destroying al-Qaeda and removing the Taliban government that sheltered them. The early phase of the war was successful because the Taliban were quickly pushed out of major cities with the help of local Afghan groups. But after this quick victory, the U.S. expanded its mission from counter-terrorism to building a stable, democratic Afghan state, a goal far more difficult to achieve in a country with deep tribal, ethnic, and political divisions. Afghanistan's geography and social structure made long-term success extremely challenging. Mountainous terrain, rural populations, and limited infrastructure gave the Taliban natural advantages. They blended into local communities, disappeared into remote areas, and used guerrilla tactics to wear down US and NATO forces. Meanwhile, American troops, trained mainly for conventional warfare, found it difficult to fight an enemy that avoided direct battles and relied on hit-and-run attacks, roadside bombs, and safe havens across borders. The Afghan government, formed with international support, suffered from deep corruption and weak institutions. Many officials took foreign aid money for personal gain instead of building strong governance. Public trust remained low as people saw little improvement in law, justice, or essential services. This corruption made the government look disconnected from ordinary Afghans and strengthened the Taliban's narrative that they were the more honest and consistent force. The Afghan security forces faced similar problems. Although the U.S. spent billions training and equipping the Afghan army and police, these forces became dependent on American logistics, intelligence, and air power. Many soldiers had low morale, irregular salaries, poor leadership, and in some cases no real loyalty to the central government. Without constant external support, the Afghan military struggled to operate effectively against a highly motivated insurgency. Regional dynamics also played a major role in America's failure. Pakistan's long, porous border with Afghanistan allowed Taliban fighters to find safe havens, regroup, and return stronger. Pakistan's strategic interests in maintaining influence in Afghanistan often conflicted with U.S. goals. This cross-border movement made it nearly impossible for the U.S. to eliminate the Taliban completely, even after years of military operations. A major turning point came with the 2020 Doha Agreement between the U.S. and the Taliban. The Afghan government was not included in the negotiations, weakening its authority and signaling that the U.S. planned to leave soon. As American forces reduced their operations, the Taliban gained confidence, accelerated their diplomacy with local leaders, and prepared for rapid advances once foreign troops left. By 2021, when the U.S. announced a complete withdrawal, Afghan forces were already struggling. As the Taliban began capturing districts, many Afghan soldiers surrendered, switched sides, or fled instead of fighting. The collapse was quick because the entire security structure depended heavily on U.S. support. Once that support ended, the system could not sustain itself, and resistance crumbled across the country. The war ended with the Taliban taking Kabul in August 2021, far faster than most observers had predicted. The U.S. did not lose the war through a major battlefield defeat but through the failure to build a self-reliant Afghan state capable of surviving on its own. After 2 decades, the combination of unclear goals, strategic mistakes, weak local